Hi, film addicts. Welcome to the show. Today, we have an amazing guest, one of my favorite animation supervisors ever, Marshall Lee Toomey. Marshall is a supervising animation artist, and he's known for Aladdin, Lion King, Hercules, Beauty and the Beast, Tarzan, and Atlantis, and many others. But let's welcome Marshall Lee Toomey to the show. Marshall, welcome.
Thank you so much. I love that introduction. That was great. I love that. Thank you.
Yeah, and Marshall, can you let everyone know where you're recording live today from?
Where I'm from, I'm in Simi Valley, California.
Oh, Simi Valley. Oh, so it's a hot day we have in here, right? How's Simi Valley? Nice weather?
You know, today is absolutely beautiful. It's a little windy, but it is just beautiful out here today. It's California. It's California. It's, you know, it's going to be the same pretty much every day.
Yeah, and so I don't know if our audience knows, but I'm just going to give them a little secret ahead of time. So you're from Kansas City, Missouri. So over there, is it cold over there right now?
Yes, it's winter, and there's about 6 to 7 inches of snow there, I think, right now. My brother usually doesn't like to talk to me during the winter because I'm always laughing at him. So we don't talk a lot. We'll talk in the spring.
Okay. All right. Because they get a lot of snow there, probably shoveling snow in front of his doorway and off the driveway. Wow.
That's right.
Yeah. So I want to ask you, growing up, what was one of your favorite childhood films that you can remember that you just like loved?
The movie that grabbed me was Pinocchio. We went to the movies to see it, and I sat close I was sitting on the second row in the center, it just happened to be. And that movie came on, and it was incredible. It was the most beautiful piece of movie artwork I had ever seen. And I saw Snow White, which I thought was good, and it was different. And wow, this is great. And this is at the movies, and it was in the 50s, I think. So the movies had been out a long time, of course, but that was the one that got me. And the other one that got me, and I'm going to say this as quickly as I can, were the Looney Tunes cartoons. Watching them on TV growing up. Wow. They were fantastic. They made a mark on me, those two things.
Which TV show was it?
All of the Looney Tunes cartoons, the Bugs Bunnies, the Tweety Birds, the Sylvesters, all of those characters, and they were fantastic. They show them every once in a while nowadays. I love looking at them.
Okay, so it was the Looney Tunes. So yeah, the Looney Tunes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, as a kid, those are so fun to watch. And so Pinocchio really grabbed your attention. The little magical boy, Peppetto, and that's Italian, right? You know, I by now you guys know I was born in Italy. My mom's Italian, so we call Pinocchio Peppetto. Peppetto, the little wooden boy that came to life. Such a magical, charming story, and how he was a naughty boy and wanted to hang out with wasn't so naughty, but just like peer pressure to hang out with the other boys. And
absolutely. And I was right there doing that in those days myself, in my day of doing it. When I saw that movie, it scared me. It was a scared me straight type of movie.
It's like, if you're bad, your nose is going to grow long.
That's right. That is absolutely
right. And then you'll get donkey ears, and then you'll get, lost in the sea inside of a whale. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was kind of like, because I do, book readings for Enchanting Book Readings podcast. And when I'm reading some of these books from a long time ago, I go, wow, these are like really frightening stories for kids. I can't believe we actually read these books.
Absolutely. They're terrifying. They're absolutely terrifying. And I didn't know that, and I'm going to sleep and dreaming about every second of it. And, it's great. It was great. It was great. I loved it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask you next. So did you grow? You grew up in Kansas City, right? Your childhood.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So was it like at was the theater somewhere you remember? Is it still around? Or?
I don't think that theater's there. I think that's gone, and there's loft where you can live in now. The newer loft. It's a younger city now than it was when I was there.
Oh, okay, yeah. I just when you see movies like Cinema Paradiso, you just remember that theater room.
Absolutely, yeah. There, the train station, Union Station in Kansas City, is one of my, and it's one of Kansas City's main point places too. And I was always there. There was always food there. There's a great park across the street with great sculptures, and that's where I used to hang out a lot. And that was great. It
Oh,
was a great
wonderful.
time.
So I'm going to ask you, so from going from childhood movies, Pinocchio and Looney Tunes, so did you fall in love with a master, a filmmaker, say like one of the Criterion movies that is one of your favorites?
Um, the artist I fell in love with but he scared me. Bill, I can never pronounce his name. Tilia. He was from the Nine Old Men. He was one of the great animators from back in the 40s with the Waltz guys. And he drew this incredible stuff on Fantasia where the devil just comes out of this smoke and he does all of this fantastic movement. And he did the guy in Pinocchio, the fiddler, the guy that kidnapped Pinocchio and was, you stay with me or I will beat you. It was wonderful stuff. And his animation was so big. It was so big and broad, and I had never seen anything like that. And I still didn't know I wanted to be an animator, but that sure grabbed me, boy. That somebody could draw that stuff and you could see it, and it was fabulous. It just grabbed me.
Oh, and what was the name of this film? This animation that scared you? The
It was Fantasia.
Oh, Fantasia. Oh, yeah, because like
Yeah,
I said,
I saw it it just was something to see. I think I was too young to see it the first time I saw it. I saw it in college quite a bit, and I was fine then. But when I was younger, I think I might have been too young to go to the movies because that kind of scared me.
yeah, some films are really scary, and speaking of like, did you say like the devil? Did you hear about the Satan sneakers that sold out in like I don't know seconds?
Yes. Wow.
So
Yes.
I mean, I guess I'm in the wrong business reading kids books and writing kids content. I don't know.
Yeah. Hopefully, you'll never find that out over there with the kids.
Yeah. So well, there's an audience for everyone because there's like there's villains in all the movies, or there's the obstacle or stuff. Especially like almost every animation, there's like the bad guy and the underdog, or the good guys, or the
Yeah.
good people. So
Right.
so at a young age, cartoons and animation really captured your attention. That's amazing. And because you're like, I'm going to ask you. So you're in Kansas City, Missouri. You're watching these Fantasia, Looney Tunes, and Pinocchio. And did you say, I'm going to write a nice magical story without the scary stuff?
No, you know what? I was one of those kids that I was drawing every second of the day. So I would lay in front of the TV while every mom and dad and my brother are watching TV, and I'm drawing all day. And one day we're watching Wonderful World of Disney. Daddy and I. Mom was doing finishing dinner or something. Wonderful World of Disney was on, and they were doing an animation thing about the animators. And it was an animated piece with the TV animation stuff, Donald Duck, and it was wonderful. And so Daddy said, "Hey, buddy, maybe one day you work for Disney." And I said, "Hey, that's California. We live in Kansas City. It's too far away. I couldn't work there." That was the end of that conversation. And look at that. I was about 8 years old when he said that to me. And look what happened. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
you were actually, for our audience that not familiar with Marshall Toomey. I love the name. You were actually at Disney for like 20 years.
Yeah, I was there about 20 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So everyone's going, well, how did you go from Kansas City, Missouri, to Walt Disney? I'm from Florida, so we have This is Walt Disneyland. So to working for Disney.
I'll tell this as quickly as I can. I bought some friends of mine, about 6 of us. We decided to move to California, one-way ticket, fly to California. And that's what we were coming out here to find an animation job. This is in 1977. I got here, lived downtown, never saw one palm tree. I thought it was horrible, but I found the address to Ralph Back Animation Studio. I called a bus, went there. I talked him into hiring me because he didn't want to see. The portfolio was full of every since I was 2 years old. So he was looking through it, and he, you know what, the great artist, but I can't hire you. I said, yes, I can animate. He says, no, you can't. I said, yes, I can. And we went through that. He said, I'm tired. You're hired because I don't feel like arguing with you anymore. And that was my first animation job. And that turned into a whole lot of different, like working for Filmation. I did every He-Man episode we did on TV then, but I don't get a credit on that because the assistant animators didn't have credit. So it was a journey through the animation world of getting a job here, getting a job here. I would not go to Disney when I first got here because I didn't want to get disappointed. Because I feel like Daddy was waiting for me to do it, and he, you know, I was scared. I didn't, but eventually I went, and that was at Rescuers Down Under. I did this in 1990. And they said yes. They hired me, and that was it. I stayed there forever. It was great. It was a great journey. Who knew? So it was great.
So I got to ask you, so I want our audience to really hear like how like you knew you were drawing since you were a kid. You had your portfolio, and mind you, it was all hand drawings from your childhood. You took a bus from downtown, which were no palm trees, and back then downtown was kind of like, you know, it wasn't very on the beautiful eyesight side. So you took a bus, and where did you go? What was the name of the studio that you in?
Ralph Bakshi Studio. He did a movie back in the 70s called Fritz the Cat, and he did a lot of other things. He was working on a movie called Lord of the Rings. He was doing one of the original Lord of the Rings animated movies, and that was the job he hired me for.
Wow.
And it was great. The timing was just great. He needed a bunch of worker bees to do some rotoscoping, which is tracing live action film off of onto paper. And that was he needed, and that was how I got in. That was my in. And from there, I just bounced around from job to job to job, and then finally made it to Disney.
Oh, wow. That is such a credible journey. So you found this, I'm trying to pronounce the name, Ralph the name
Ralph Bakshi. Ralph Bakshi. Yes.
Ralph Bakshi. And so you heard that he was hiring for Lord of the Rings. It was a TV show back then or a movie back then?
It was a movie. It was a movie. Not a very good one, but it was a movie. These are the ones I don't like talking about the bad ones. But yeah, it was Lord of the Rings, and it was okay. I think it got a little play for a while, but I don't believe I got my name on those credits either. And that's kind of how I was learning how to gear my career, making sure I get my name on the credits somewhere, you know, even if it's a coffee guy or something. I didn't care. Just my name on the credits.
Yeah. And
so that helped.
Yeah. So you started to learn. So it was basically your foot in the door where you were tracing and drawing these things. And which is funny enough, when you talk about Lord of the Rings, I was just watching behind the scenes with Peter Jackson. You can find this on YouTube, Lord of the Rings, and it's just so incredible because now there's like the green screens and stuff. So I was wondering, back then they didn't even have green screens, right? And what?
Yeah, we did. We had nothing like that. We did nothing like that. Yeah.
So it was harder back then because you had to draw everything by hand. And then what did you do with the drawings? You had to upload them to the computers, or?
No. Wow. Back then, there was no computer to shoot it. We had film cameras that would shoot one frame at a time. And we'd take a stack of drawings that were in order and that moved, each one moved, and we would shoot them one frame at a time. Then we would make sure it worked. Then you got to get it transferred onto clear acetate instead of paper so you can ink and paint it. So how do you get that? You either Xerox it on there or you have people ink the drawings off, trace your drawings, and then you paint on the back of them. That's how we did it back in those days. it was, whew.
Oh, a lot of work, a lot of work, a lot of hours. How many hours do you work a day in an animation? Is it long hours or is it, probably?
Long. Yeah, we work long hours. But you know what? There's a lot of love. And I think a lot when you love what you're doing, you put that extra time into it. So um, that helps a lot because you feel good about what you're doing. And I know that the work that I'm doing is going to be seen by a zillion people. So I want to make sure that I'm doing as much as I can. So I feel good about it.
Oh, wow. So I'm so happy that you just always were drawing. So it was like your gift to the world is just drawing. And your dad recognized that talent and he's like, son, you're going to go work for Disney one day. Like, what an incredible dad to recognize the talent in his son. And you actually made that journey happen. And I bet you your father is so, so pleased and
You
so
know,
proud of you.
he's passed away now, but he was alive when I signed my Disney contract. And I called him and told him I had just signed a 3-year contract at Disney. And he was so happy. He went straight to the barbershop. I think he stayed at the barbershop about 4 hours bragging with all his buddies at the bar. And then went back the next week and did it again the next week too. So it was just what he wanted. It was perfect. I was happy for him.
I love it. I love it. We're gonna have to do like some kind of barber animation project, an homage to your dad or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I guarantee it. Yeah.
Yeah. So you bounced around. You said so. What made you springboard into Disney? How did you know you were ready?
Well, I'd done Secret of Nim, a movie called The Secret of Nim. I had just finished that movie, and that movie was done with a group of old Disney animation artists. Not old; they escaped, and they did The Secret of Nim, and I did that with them. And I did another project with that studio, and man, it was eye-opening. So when I heard through my number of folks that I know in the business that they're hiring at Disney, I said, okay, there I go. So by that time, I knew how to put a portfolio together, and I knew how to do it all. I knew the process, but I learned everything changed once I got there. It was like, forget what I learned and relearn everything. But I thought I knew enough to go and not get turned down, and that's what happened. So they did say yes.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. And you've done so many amazing, I mean, you've worked on Hercules. Like how is like when you're drawing something like Hercules, which seems like masculine and muscles, and then you have like the Smurf, which is blue and cute little cuddly things. Like is there fun like one that's more fun for you, or is your heart and soul just do you have a preference on what you draw or
that's a really good question. I did Rafiki in The Lion King. That was my character. He's mine.
And Rafiki in The Lion King?
That feels like that's what I like. That was the peak for me. No, it wasn't. Tarzan was the peak, but that was it. That was a fun character. It's the kind of character I've always wanted to have. It just was everything. And that guy was a great one for me. He changed my life there. He did change.
Oh, I love it. Like Rasiki. What a wonderful character, too. He's got guts. He's got chutzpah. Are we allowed to say that? He's got soul. He's got energy. He's got amazing look. And you're so incredible at what you do. And you said also like Tarzan. Tarzan and Hercules kind of like similar, except for maybe Hercules has more clothes than Tarzan does, right?
I think. I'm not sure. But yeah, we were kind of doing both slightly at the same time. I was putting together the big crew for Tarzan, but a lot of us were going to help Hercules and making sure Hercules, because we knew that was going to be good, and we wanted to make sure it was the best one, and we kept working, and then we went back. So it was a big difference. The character, a world of difference. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you did Beauty and the Beast. Was that super fun? That's like a one of so magical with the candelabra and the teapot, Mrs. Potts, and Chip the Cup. So cute and inventive, right?
They're great. Yeah, it was a wow. What a moment that movie was. I was on the Beast unit. I'm proud to say, and working with the great Glenn Keane, one of the greatest animators on the planet, and he taught me so much. And the Beast, there's no character like him, so we were we were kind of drawing in the air character looked like, but we got it together, and it looked great. It
Yeah,
came out great.
and you did Aladdin. Love the movie. Oh my gosh, the genie and just the monkey and the flying carpet. So magical.
You know, it I love. I did Aladdin. I was on the Aladdin crew for that, and I had a wonderful time. I had moved up. I was a key at that point. They were giving me entire sequences to work on, but also I am in the movie. I'm one of the vendors that's chasing the monkey around in the movie. They did a caricature of me and put me in the movie.
So Marshall Lee Toomey is the vendor in Aladdin. Oh my gosh, that they chase. I loved it.
Absolutely. I got a big beard and I have a lot more weight then. But you can tell it's me. You'll see it's me chasing him around. It's me. So it's
Oh,
pretty cool. It's a lot of fun.
I
That's history right there. That'll always be there.
yeah. Was there any other? Did they put? Did you ever get to do voiceovers, or you just that was
No, no, no. I just I was all about the drawing and making it the best we could make it, and I was always at that point of it. I helped out on things like the big jumbo cook in Princess and the Frog. We needed some video reference to get him doing what he was doing. I did a whole lot of video reference for him. So we would do things like that so that we could get what we wanted on the screen. So, yeah,
oh,
it was fun.
that's so magic. And you've done so many top movies. And so I want to ask you, your jump. So now you're independent, right? You've been working independently
Yes.
now. And do you have your own company, or is it just you're just an independent contractor, sort of?
And right now I'm just an independent contractor because there's a moment where we're having work in the industry and we like it. And so we're working right now. So I like it.
Yeah. And are you allowed to tell people what you're working on, or just finishing up?
I am in the midst of finishing up Space Jam 2.
Oh, Space Jam 2.
And
Wow.
this very exciting, and I can tell you that I have not met LeBron James. I can tell you that for one thing. The other thing I can tell you is we pulled a lot of the artists from the old days in to work on it. And we have people from all over the world that are working on it now. So because we can do it globally and we do it on our computer, we can draw it and animate it on our computer just like we could on paper. Now it's become a global thing, and it's just wonderful. The world's changing on this movie for me. Everything's changing on Space Jam 2 for me.
That's amazing that it's like a global collaboration, and you brought some old school artists on board this project. That is fabulously wonderful.
It's great.
Because I think the older we get, we're like champagne and vintage wine. The better the better we are, better we come, the better artists. And so I want to ask you too. So how did like green screen and all this modern technology? How do you find that with your being an animator? Is it helpful and makes it easier and faster?
It is. I hear you. That's a good question. That's a good question to talk about with folks. I have been a paper animator for over 40 years, and I have always flipped the paper and did my animation on it like you've seen everybody do forever. And here comes the computer stuff. Now, I fought it at the end of Princess and the Frog. That was it. I was done with Disney. I actually went and art directed a live action movie just to get away from it all. But because I was heartbroken because I didn't think we would be able to draw on paper anymore because of this computer. But over the years, I have learned how to use this computer, and now on this I am learning so much. So I'm having a great time. I didn't think I'd be re-educated, but I am.
So that's wonderful that you can combine modern technology that's disrupting and maybe it helps it to make the content a little bit easier or faster or better or save you some time and some hard work because long hours on your feet and your hands. I know me as a writer, sometimes your hands hurt, your back hurts, sitting down a lot hurts as well. So and straining your eyes on the computer so long. So hopefully it will give you alleviate some of that pain that you had by drawing by hand.
Yeah, we had a lot of physical issues during all those years. We have horrible carpal tunnel problems. A lot of us do, and a lot of folks had to get surgery from it.
Wow.
And a lot of folks had to end their careers because they couldn't do anything about it, and their backs too. So it's not. It sounds like it's a physical job, but it's not. But these things happen, because of years of sitting there doing this meticulous work we do. So it hurts.
So I want to ask, where do people keep up with Marshall Lee Toomey? Can you let us know where they can find your work and see what's coming up next that you're working on?
Yeah, I have a couple. Well, my main place is I'm telling you right now that the movie I'm working on. So the credits, you'll see those later. But I have my Instagram site, which is at Marshall Toomey, one word. Marshall Toomey, one word. At Marshall Toomey. That's my artwork. That's what's going on. I usually have something that I've done on there. Like I just finished teaching a master's art academy class in cleanup animation. So that was great. I really enjoyed that. I have a picture on there from that, and a picture of all my other art is on there too. And that's going good. I have like a portrait of Abraham Lincoln at the Lincoln Museum and things like that. So yeah, I'm doing great. I'm really enjoying it all.
Oh, beautiful. So if somebody wants to take a class for you, like how would they find, they would reach out to you on Instagram or LinkedIn or?
You could always reach out to me on Instagram, definitely. I answer and talk to artists and people all the time. And make sure you join. Make sure you follow me.
Yeah. So follow Marshall Toomey at Marshall Toomey. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And so is there anything else you want to share with us before?
That's it. This is one of those jobs, and Daddy had always told me, make sure you do something you like. So that's why I chose this job. It's that job I love, jumping up in the mornings to go to work in. I get up earlier just because I know I can draw early. I love it. I love this feeling. I've talked about that for years, and I want people to learn to enjoy that stuff. Things have been happening. This is good for everybody. I'm happy for everybody.
Oh, wonderful. And we just can't wait because I heard that you're going to be looking for a TV project to be pitching. So we look forward to see what you pick. And because you're going to be doing picking a TV animation series pretty soon.
Yes, I think that's the next project for me is I'm getting up there in age and I got to get some bucket list things done. And having my own TV show is one of them. So that's one of the things I want to work on. Yes.
Yeah. So Disney call Marshall Toomey and the writers and animators. Let's hear from you and let's make that dream happen. Yeah. And
let's do this. Let's do it.
Yeah, Marshall, it was wonderful having you on the show and so excited for you. You've done so spectacular. Some of my favorite movies ever. Just want to remember Hercules, Aladdin, Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, Atlantis, Secret of NIMH. Oh my gosh, Tarzan. And once again, it's at Marshall Toomey. Look in the summary and thanks for listening. And thank you, Marshall, for being on the show today.
Thank you so much. This is great. I appreciate it. Goodbye, everybody. Good luck. God bless.
And thank you, everyone, for listening. Until next week, stay healthy and safe. And cheers to everyone. Thank you for listening.